That's going to equal 23.64 multiplied by 22.55 multiplied by 0.5 multiplied by sine of 30, which is also 0.5, which will give us an answer of 133.27. So our area is equal to 133.27 units squared. The next one I gave you to do gave triangle ABC with side C unknown, side A 5 units, side B 6 units, and angle C 60 degrees. I'm going to start off by looking for C. Now I've got two sides and an angle. To work out the other side, I'm going to use the cos rule, which says that C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos C, which means that C is going to equal square root of A squared, which is 25, 5 squared is 25, plus B squared, or plus 36. A times B is 5 times 6, which is 30, times 2 is 60. Cos of 60 is equal to 0.5. Special angles. 60 times 0.5 is 30. So this is going to be square root of 25 plus 36 minus 30, which is the same as 25 plus 6, which is the same as square root of 31. If I look for the square root of 31, it's going to come to 5.57. That means that C is equal to 5.57 units. Always write in units if you don't have centimeters or millimeters or some other form of measurement. Now that we've got three sides, to work out the other two angles is pretty easy. I'm going to start by looking at angle A. To get angle A, I'm going to use the sine rule. Sine of angle A over side A, which is 5, is equal to sine of angle C, which is sine of 60, over side C, which is 5.57. That means that A is equal to second function sine on your calculator of 5 sine 60 over 5.57, and I'm going to punch it into my calculator exactly as I see it over there. So it will be sine, second function sine, open bracket, 5 sine 60 divided by 5.57, close bracket, is going to give me an answer of 51.02, or let's just work with 51 degrees. That means that angle A is 51 degrees. To get angle B, I can either use the sine rule or simple logic. Simple logic tells me that the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. That means that B is equal to 180 degrees minus 51 minus 60. Minus 51 degrees minus 60 degrees. 180 minus 51 minus 60 degrees is equal to 69 degrees. In the next example I gave you to do, number 3, I gave you the shape PQRS with sides PQ is equal to 3 units, PS is equal to 8 units, PSQ, angle PSQ rather, is equal to 30 degrees, angle PQS is equal to 50 degrees, PQ is parallel to SR, and angle P is equal to angle R. That means that those two opposite angles are equal to each other. I then want you to calculate X. Now notice that we've got two triangles that are formed here. We've got one triangle over here and another over here. We don't have enough information in the smaller triangle or the bottom triangle to calculate X. What we can do, however, is we can work out the remaining angle and that side over there of that top triangle, which would be the same side on the bottom triangle as well as the opposite angle. Doing that and using that angle over there, which I'll show you we do actually have, can give us side X. I'm going to start off by working out angle P. Angle P is equal to, now interior angles of a triangle add up to 180 degrees. 50 plus 30 is 80, which means we're short of 100 degrees. That's what angle P is. That's also what angle R is. That's the first bit of information. The next bit of information, I know that this line PQ is parallel to SR, which means that angle PQS, 50 degrees, is equal to angle QSR, and that is alternate angles. So I've got two angles. In fact, if I have two angles, that will become 30 degrees because of interior angles. So I've got all three angles of this triangle. I now just need one side to calculate the other two sides. To get the side QS, I'm going to use the sine rule. QS over sine of 100 degrees is equal to PS, which is 8 over sine of 50 degrees. That means that QS is equal to 8 times sine of 100 all over sine 50. 8 times sine of 100 divided by sine 50 is equal to 10.28 units. I now have QS, which means I can use that to calculate X. Again, I'm going to use the sine rule. I'm going to say X over sine 100 is equal to QS, which we know is being 10.28 over, sorry, not X over 100, X over sine of 50 degrees is equal to QS over sine of 100, which means that X is equal to sine 50 multiplied by 10.28. So that will be sine 50 times 10.28 divided by sine of 100, which will give me 7.996, which rounds off to be 8 units. That means that side X is equal to 8 units, and I found that out using the sine rule. Just out of interest, this then forms a parallelogram. Opposite sides are equal, and those two sides will also be equal. Opposite angles are equal. And that brings us to the end of this 7th tutorial in trigonometry. It was a fairly easy tutorial. Please note that everything we have done in today's tutorial is going to be applicable for the next tutorial, which deals with 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional triangles. Before you move on to that though, have a go at the exercise that I left for you in the workbook.